here's your reminder. If a person shows you one time they don't care, believe them. If they show you 2 times, you definitely believe them. If they show you a 3rd time, that's on you for not seeing the signs. But I want to give my testimony because I've been a woman who ignored signs willfully her whole life. And that is not something you want to be. So I'll give this example. So I'm working at my job, and one of my coworkers came up to me and basically was like, I want to take you on a date. And I'm like, my first thought was just like, no, because we're working together. I don't want things to get weird. Shit not work out. But I denied that first thought and I gave in basically. So what happened from that point is we started talking, basically texting on Facebook Messenger and calling here and there. We was doing that for about 2 weeks. Then the coworker just stopped talking to me probably for about 2 weeks. So I just fell back because really I didn't approach you, you approached me. But eventually the coworker came back and was like, we need to talk after work. I got some weed, we're gonna smoke, we're gonna talk. I'm like, okay. So basically after that day after work, the coworker ended up telling me, hey, I had just got back with the mother of my child and we tried to work things out, but things didn't work out. So here I am and I want to date other women. Now I should have took that as the first sign. If a man come up to you and ask you for a date and he don't take you on a date, but he'll talk to you for 2 weeks and then stop talking to you when the mother of his child and him get back together, and then he gonna tell you to your face and you come back type shit. And I allowed that. I allowed him to play in my face just because I wanted to see if he was gonna be true. And I already knew the answer, but I just wanted to see. So I damn near had to press him about the dates, which I don't like to do. You came up to me about this date, so why am I pressing you about a date? I stopped doing that. But the night we were supposed to go on the day after work, we smoked and talked, but the taco place he was gonna take me to ended up being closed. And I'm just like, you never want to take me on shit, because if you did, you would have planned better. This is ridiculous. So I was irritated, and eventually we did go out on a date before work, and we ended up calling off that day. But that day he was late. I'm like, you just showing me you don't care. And I didn't want to believe it, because you don't want to believe painful things like that about people. And I'm a person who likes to see the best in people. But at the end of the day, people gonna show you better than they can tell you. And if you don't heed their actions, you're a fool. And there will be consequences for not heeding what your eyes are showing you. And I had to learn that firsthand. But I've gotten to the point where I'm not willfully ignoring signs. I'm willfully looking at them and actually seeking them out so I can know how to move. Because really people move in patterns. And if you know how to observe those patterns, you really can see yourself on top and know how to move around certain patterns. Like, as soon as he came back after ghosting me for 2 weeks, I should have told him, we're not talking anymore. That was strike one. But I was permissible, and I allowed him back into my space, texting, energetically I allowed him back into my space. That's on me. And I see the signs now. So the ending of the story, basically, after he came back and was just like, me and the mother of my child got back together. I wanted to date. Let me run back. Him and the mother of his child had got back together, and then they broke up. That's when he came back, basically telling me I'm the rebound. And then he was like, I want to date. And then the failed date, the date he showed up too late. And then it was a couple instances where he texted me real, like, sexually, and it was always late at night. Talk about just one text, he was like, "Why you got me hard as hell?" Like, verbatim. And I looked at it. I didn't open it. I just looked at it and went to sleep. Because I told him once before that I wasn't on that with him. And he kept trying me. So now it's giving you don't respect me. And never did. How you gonna respect someone you see as a rebound? Like, I'm recording this video because I asked to talk to him after work, but we ended up having the same lunch. And so I asked him for some clarity. I told him, I was like, I just want some clarity on why you was moving, how you was moving, just to give my mind some relief. And he acted like he was amenable to it. So I was like, okay. We ended up, I met up with him by a store by our job, and we started walking to a nearby park from that store. And while I was I was talking to him and letting him know how I felt, but he just seemed real, like, distant. And I told him, I said, it seemed like you bothered, because it's like, I'm trying to walk alongside of you, and you walking ahead of me. And I don't willfully ignore signs no more. So the fact that you walking ahead of me lets me know that I'm bothering you, and you trying to get away from me. You're not trying to hear what I'm saying. Because, yeah, my voice carries, but I'm not finna yell at you. I'm walking, trying to keep up with you, and talk at the same time. It's ridiculous. It's clear you don't want me here. It's clear you don't want to have this conversation. And I told him, I said, you're bothered. And he was like, no, I'm not bothered. I haven't been bothered by anything these days. And I said, no, that's good. And then I just, like, it just hit me again while we was almost to the park. We was probably halfway to the park. And he was just walking ahead, and I just stopped in my tracks. And then he turned around, and he gonna say, you good? I said, yeah, you enjoy your break. And I walked away. He was like, okay. And I walked away, and it just let me know, like, he never cared. He never respected me. So, women and men, pay attention to signs. This is just one example of me not paying attention to signs and showing, like, the heartbreak, or not even the heartbreak, but the misunderstanding that can come from it. Because I'm a woman who don't deserve that type of treatment. Inconsistency, being ghosted, being taken on half-ass date. I deserve a man who looks at me and sees worth, sees value, sees someone he's going to commit to, sees someone he wants to give consistency to, sees someone who, like, my man is someone who speaks and it's true. He won't lie to me. And it's just the fact that I've been allowing, it's such a larger theme, willfully ignoring signs. That's in a larger theme of self-sabotage and low self-esteem and hating myself. And I'm not in that vibration anymore. I'm in a really awakened vibration. And it is not a coincidence that this is happening when I'm detoxing. Like, my sinuses have been draining. Like, everything from my body has been draining. Like, from every orifice. It's gross. But it's definitely not a coincidence that this is happening at the same time, that this detox is happening at the same time that I'm having these realizations about myself. And I'm starting to shift from one old life to another new life, a better life, a life I know that's for me. I'm shedding old habits like smoking weed. I love marijuana, but it's affecting my health because, one, I don't know where people source their marijuana, and two, smoking just isn't good for you. It's just not good for your throat. It burns the cilia there, and cilia helps in digestion. It helps move your food down your throat once you swallow it. And if that's gone, it's just literally food particles sitting in your throat with, lodge nowhere to go, And I prioritize my health too much. That's one of the habits I'm sharing, and it's really been hard. I think it's been like 2 years of me trying to stop smoking. So that's one of the habits I'm letting go of. Another one of the habits is keeping things inside. Meaning holding my tongue, holding back my emotions, and how I feel. That's one of the things that I'm getting rid of, because if you hold on to certain things, it will literally sit in your system and it will build up like a thick mucus. And if you allow it to be there, it will inhibit the way you move in the world. It will inhibit your growth. It will inhibit your thinking, your mindset, your beliefs, the way you speak, the way you perceive, the way you feel. It will inhibit everything. So you have to keep an open channel at all times. You have to keep an open channel. And that's what I'm learning as I'm detoxing, as I'm moving forward into the next level. I mentioned I'm eliminating smoking and marijuana, and I'm eliminating keeping things inside, like my words and my emotions, because I did do that for a while. I will say another old habit I'm getting rid of is procrastination. That's something I've been grappling with for a long time. But procrastination is something that it stems from a fear of failure and a fear of rejection. This is the flaw of the logic. If I procrastinate, it gives me more time to do it and less time to make mistakes. And obviously that's untrue, because the more you procrastinate, the less time you have, and the more time you have to make mistakes. So I know what it is. The procrastination, what that is a fear of being imperfect. And I'm getting rid of that, because what I call myself is a recovering or erring perfectionist. And the erring perfectionist is an oxymoron, because perfection does not exist. So perfectionists are literally wasting their time, nitpicking at themselves, having a harsh inner self-critic. So I'm getting rid of that procrastination. It's all tied up with all the self-sabotage and the fear of failure, the fear of being imperfect. So it's really a good time in my life. I'm really ascending to the next level. And I know I have to change in order to welcome this new me into fruition. I have to change. Like, there's no way for me to stay the same and want to grow. So if I want to leave you with anything, I want to leave you with these messages. Please do not ignore signs. Look signs in the face. They're going to hurt. The truth, sometimes it hurts. But it's better for you to hurt initially in that moment than for you to store that and have to feel it even harder or even more frequently down the line. Another message I want to leave you with is, please eliminate old habits the best that you can. And another message I want to leave you with is, please keep an open, clear channel. God bless y'all. Peace and blessings. Please, 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 please protect your energy.